Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tori the Barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with the plan. Not the two, but the one, the only, Free Will Code.
Man, what's happening? Free Will Code in the building. Thank you and welcome to another edition of the Free Will Podcast, where we create a community that inspires and empowers growth. You know, we're helping each other become the best versions of ourselves, huh? What's happening, Tori? How you doing today, my boy?
Oh, yeah. We back in the building for another one, man. We've been off for the second year. We went Ghost, we went MIA. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back in the building for another wonderful, beautiful episode. I'm feeling good. Today was a great day. How was today for you?
And today was cool. How was today? I don't know. I feel like today was totally subconscious. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Just going through the motion.
It just kind of went by, you know. But other than that, man, I feel pretty good. I'm feeling good to be on a with the mic with the headphones in my ear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How about you, man? How was your day today?
Well, today for me, in slightly greater detail, was pretty phenomenal because got some things done. Went to work, hit the gym. I just checked off some of the main things that I've been striving to make sure I complete. So it was just a good day in general. It was a great day in general. Nothing to report, bad, negative, no nothing. It was just really a blessed day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, man. But listen, I'm grateful.
Telling people what you grateful for.
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for the man up above.
Yes,
I love you. In church the other day, I had me a grateful moment, man, where I got the waterworks turned on. I was thinking back and I'm like, man, I could have been in a lot of places, bro. I could have been in a lot of places mentally, physically. And it's, I'm just blessed. By His grace, I've been able to be delivered from a lot of those situations. So, listen, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for him. Grateful for the First Lady. Shout out to the First Lady. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also grateful for new life.
Yes, Lord.
You feel me? I'm grateful for new life. Listen to me. It's time for Cole to be a daddy, y'all.
Yeah.
It's time for Cole to be a daddy.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a bun in the oven, huh?
Got a bun up in the oven. The oven is turned up on 350 degrees. You heard me? Listen, I'm beyond grateful for that.
Congratulations, my brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Listen,
on behalf of the Free Will family. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. What I was about to say? I'm about to say that. Damn, I completely got my mind wiped just now.
I know you dropped the Bible.
Because I was about to say something about you saying Free Will family. But I'm grateful for that. That's what I'm about to say. Listen, I've the last few, because I've known for some time, y'all. I apologize. I've known for some time.
Sorry.
And my daily thoughts are how can I just be, transition who I am now as an amazing father. You know what I'm saying? As an amazing companion. You know what I mean? And I'm allowing God to do that work in me, and wherever that takes me, I'm truly, truly grateful and I'm ready for it. I'm excited about it, and I'm gonna be amazing, man. Like, listen, I'm gonna be father of the century.
Yeah.
My kids gonna be them kids where they thought that it came from our generation, how they tell us, like, they be like, man, y'all still came from the last good generation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the last of the Mohicans. But y'all, that's what's going on with me. But other than that, I'm grateful for having clothes on my back, food on my table. Yeah. I'm grateful to have a place to stay.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for my parents, man. Shout out to my people. Shout out to family. I'm grateful to have family. And not only family, but family that's very, very supportive. You know what I'm saying? Through these times that, after doing my night, you realize how much love you got around you and stuff like that. And I appreciate that, bro. It's major. But what about you, man? What you grateful for today?
Woo! That's a lot to follow up, man. But
Yeah,
man, I'm
that's all
grateful for
good.
the man up above. All praises to the Most High. I want to thank God for this moment. Thank God for my journey. Thank God for my purpose. Whether I'm on it, I'm close to it. I'm still maturing to realize it. I'm just grateful for
There
the
it
path that
is.
I'm on right now. I'm grateful that everything that I want to say should have went right today or could have went wrong today went right today for this moment to even be possible. Man, I'm thankful for family, just like Cole. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for friends. Thankful for my supporters. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for my clients because I come up here as Tori the Barber every single week. So it's only right that I make sure I put y'all on the stage with me. Man. So that's what I'm grateful for. Now, Cole normally
Yeah.
normally do the small thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have one either. I don't have one prepared. I don't have one prepared,
Yeah.
man. But I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to.
Shoot, I did a lot of small things, man.
I'm just
I say
grateful
place
to.
to stay, clothes on my back. You know what I'm
You
saying?
right. You right. You right. You right. You right. You right.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my mind, for my peace of mind. You know, with all things considered, all things that could be going on, or that I could be way out of my mind. I'm centered. I'm right where I need to be, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Listen,
Hey.
I want all of us to go ahead and bow our heads,
Yes, Lord.
give a moment of silence for our brand new subscribers. And the ones that get post notifications, yes, Lord. Listen, if you've been on a journey with us, I appreciate you. We appreciate you to the fullest. If you're not just now beginning the journey with us, it will only be an adventurous one and a rewarding one and a freeing one. You know what I mean?
Lord.
So thank you for joining the family. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate us, you love our energy, go ahead and hit that like button. So you can continue to see more from us. You feel me? Yes, sir. Without further ado.
Let's drop that word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
Track athlete breaks down in tears after her California State 400-meter gold medal was taken from her after she celebrated too much. Clara Adams was seen spraying her feet with a fire extinguisher after finishing in first place. The 16-year-old, along with thousands of people, very devastated. So, I got a lot of things too. I got a lot of mixed emotions about what happened there. Overall, ultimately, definitely being on the young lady's side. But I want to ask you first, man. What do you think about her being disqualified from the race entirely for that? What we would say a minor celebration.
Yeah. So I would say myself, I don't think it's necessarily necessary. Of course, when you watch something like that, the first thing we do is like second nature. We go straight to the comments. So I went straight to the comments. And one of the comments said that I really agree with. It said if the rule wasn't there before the race started, then it shouldn't count. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't count against us. So whoever had something to say, the discrepancies that they had, the reason why they wanted to revoke her medal, I don't think that it should have been. And now, not to be too long-winded, but I don't know if releasing a fire extinguisher is like a fine, or how sometimes there's penalty for certain things you do, like if you just carelessly use a fire extinguisher or whatever the case is. I feel like on the back end, if that was the case, on the back end, maybe her parents should have got fined or something like that for whatever, right? But as far as like stripping her from that moment, I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think it really was that big a deal. Honestly, I mean, she definitely took the celebration to the next level, but I don't think it was. I just don't think it was that deep. What you think, Cole?
Yeah, I think. So first of all, there was no clear-cut violation. The only clear-cut violation was when the father hopped over the he hopped over the fence to come and defend his daughter after one of the officials grabbed her arm and was kind of yelling at her and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? They deemed that unsportsmanlike conduct, the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't see that at all as unsportsmanlike conduct. She wasn't shaming any of the other players. And that celebration was all centered around herself.
Mm-hmm.
She did it. She did the extinguisher away from other people. You know what I mean? And that's actually an iconic celebration from a very well-known athlete. You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing, right? He didn't get fined in a higher league than that. You know what I mean? And so I think this was just a clear case of someone taking their job too seriously, or had their other personal emotions tied into what had to go on, man. That girl was a kid. She's 16 years old. The amount of work that she had to put into to get to that moment was a lot. It's a lot. I personally don't see anything that major for even if she clearly broke the rules, like you said, fine her or fine their parents, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. Don't take the girl's entire trophy away. I don't agree with that.
I think that was just how I see it. It was really just it was punishment. It was more retaliation in a way. It felt to me than a suitable disciplinary act. Just like because they really didn't have nothing to do with the race. Like the race was over. She didn't, she didn't throw off no other, athletes. She didn't, do nothing crazy. They had the story with the young lady who was running track, and then she had the baton and hit the other girl in the head with the baton. And that's totally different, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing about this situation is I just don't feel like it was all that necessary. And hey, man, I don't know. I mean, but in a sense, it could be looked at as like a startling type of celebration, because like for those who not really aware of it, it'll catch you off guard, like what's going on, all this smoking stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know exactly. I just don't think it was that big a deal. I don't know. And quite frankly, with the father doing, I don't think he was wrong. I get that that the parents not supposed to do that, not supposed to come on the field and all that. But at the end of the day, it's a way that you do things, and it's not like she was really like cutting up, doing something that's harming anybody or whatever the case is. But the man went over there and grabbed her and was hollering at her and pulled on her. So naturally, it's like a natural reaction. It's like, what you doing? Now, if it was a boy, if he was on a football field or something like that, that's different. Coach, is rough. It's a rough sport. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I think about it. That's how I feel about it.
See, you can always dude lame, straight up. He lame because I feel like in all actuality, when you are doing something, when you're handling business, your emotions will show. You know what I'm saying? If it's actually business or if it's personal for you. Mm-hmm. Him grabbing her arm and yelling at her was personal for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't, it'll be like, hey, that was, even if he disqualified it, it'll be like, hey, that wasn't right. We're gonna have to disqualify you for that, okay? Nah, what are you doing? Well, are you crazy? Why would you do something like that? You know what I mean? Like you out of here. So it's sometimes though I will say this to protect and it's crazy you gotta say stuff like this, but sometimes you have to make a choice in securing your victory above a certain level before you start to be yourself, or before you start to brag and boast and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because people out there to get us. People out there to get you sometimes when you do your thing, and you know what I'm saying? Some people don't like the celebration, or some people are whatever. But I tell you what, if she was one of the best runners in the world, you know what I mean? Like she top tier, high level, they'll think twice before stripping celebrities, you know what I'm saying, accolades from them. You know, so sometimes you just gotta wait till you get to a certain level before you do certain things. You know, that's why I end that off at.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's a learning experience and something to look out for. Definitely. Yes, Lord.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
Mr. Cole,
Man,
what we talking
I
about
got.
today?
Well, um, I don't know, man. I think what's been on my mind a lot lately is the fact that I'm about to be a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got a baby on the way, man, and at first I'm gonna say that I'm grateful for me being where I'm at.
for
You know,
sure.
cause Lord, look, bro, Lord he could have messed over me a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I was the most responsible person in the world. You
Yeah.
know, so he could have hit me on the head a long time ago and just, you know, when I didn't have nothing together, when I didn't have my mind space together, you know what I mean? So I think I have a very clear outlook of where I want to be and who I want to be in life. So that allows me to think a little differently about it. Like I'm excited, man. I'm excited. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I want to accomplish. I'm already envisioning how I look as a father and stuff like that. You know, what was your experience when you first, because you know you're a vet, according to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You two in the game. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Yeah, man. For me, well, the difference between your first time right now at 28 and my first time, I was 19, I think, when I got my news. So
Damn,
for me,
I didn't think about that.
it was a different experience because I didn't
Yeah.
have things together. I was still staying with my mama. You know what I'm saying? It was, I mean, I had a job and stuff. You know, I was getting ready to start school. I think at the time I was getting ready to start barbering school soon, not long after that. And all kind of different things, man. But oh man, I listen, I was just going with the flow. Honestly, I didn't have like no super ambitious dream or no super ambitious thought process that was like, okay, it's time for you to get serious about life. I was still trying to live my life, you know. So that was kind of like my experience. So it differs a little bit between like you
It
just not getting in
does.
that, yeah,
It
you
does,
know.
man.
But
And I was talking to my mama the other day, and I was thinking, I was like, man, when I'm 40 years old, my child gonna be 12, right? And I was kind of looking down on that a little bit, like, man, I kind of waited late, but it was a lot of work that I done between that time. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If I'm using 19, right? There was a lot of work, and me 19 I was tore up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you was as tore up as I was, but
man, we were tore up
you know,
together running the streets, walking the
right?
streets. Like I told you before, we got our name
Yeah,
on Bourbon somewhere out there. Yeah,
right.
man.
You know, and so you right, man, because we wasn't even developed really. We couldn't even at that time with anything. We couldn't even think about or even process the future because we still kind of we just living in the now. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a perspective that you just gave me, man. You know, I don't know if I would have been thinking the way that I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been thinking the
No,
way
no,
that I'm
indeed, no.
thinking right now.
Heavens, no.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? So
No, indeed.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the mindset that I have now and like the work and shit that I did, you know. So
Yeah. I want to ask you
that's
something. Why
way
you
different. Yeah.
you said at first you was a little down about the idea of, like, okay, when my baby 12, I'm gonna be 40 years old. Why did you look down on that initially?
I think just 40 sounds old to me, you know. And I know it's not when I think about it below surface level, but just the thought of being 40 and having a 12-year-old, I think subconsciously it just puts more pressure on me. I think more pressure on me to do right by myself, health wise, mentally, so I can be able to keep up when I need to keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like, 10, 12, you're in the thick of it. You at basketball, baseball, football practice. I'm talking about straight ball
Yeah,
energy, huh?
look, straight
You know
boy
what I'm
energy.
saying?
Yeah.
But I will have to do. I got to keep it up. Like, I guess the theme of what I'm talking about is like um, I had to break some curses a long way before 28. And so I gotta keep it up. I gotta keep up the energy of, what I mean? Because if I lose it either, between now and then, I could decline in that vision that I want. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm around here, my child won't run, or my child's doing homework, and I'm like, I ain't been to school for years. I don't want to be that daddy. I won't be still like I'm like 30 years old. You know what I mean? And so I guess it was just the anxiety that came with my initial thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I get that, because at first I thought you kind of touched on it. You was saying like I felt like that's kind of old, like in my mind, like that's kind of like you kind of out of the cool parent realm of things. You know what I'm saying? Like being in your 30s and stuff. Honestly, but I think it's at least in that regard, it's kind of like making sure that you still stay on top of yourself. And I think just for being a parent, right? Because a lot of people they prefer to have their kids very early on, get it out the way. I don't want to be old when my kids are, I want to still be able to run and play and stuff. But who said you can't at 50? Who said you can't at 40? Whatever. Like, take care of yourself.
That's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? And make sure you keep yourself up. Make sure you're educating yourself like you said. Let me tell you something, boy. Hey, let me tell you something. The homework that you're going to have to do ain't going to be the homework that we did. Because it's changing, boy. Like, that schoolwork changing, man. And I be like, because I be trying to figure out what's the point of, like, why did they change it? Like, what's the point of these new formulas and these all? I don't know. The world is changing, man.
Yeah. So it's almost like you'll have to. So even if you still in school, I guess you would still have to have an adaptation mindset to what's new, what's going on. But I want to ask you, man. Since we got different, like you make me so interested in your time as beginning of a fatherhood. Like when you first got that thing saying, she pregnant, when she came back, she was like, it's about to go down. Like, did it hit you right then and there, or did it take some time to hit you afterwards, or what is it like? How was that experience for you?
Well, the day that I actually found out, I was at the crib. We both was at the crib, and she was just feeling bad. She had the sickness going on, throwing up. It was just craziness. And I think her mama came picked her up to bring her to the hospital just to see, what the deal was, like what's going on with her. And before she left the house, I said, you pregnant. I said it like I knew it. I was like, you pregnant. And or whatever. So
did you really know it, or was you playing? Were you playing around?
That was
like you actually believe.
I just felt sure about it, not because I was being reckless or nothing like that, but it was just I just felt like that's just with me. It was like it almost felt like intuition. I was just like, you pregnant, and so she wound up going to the hospital or whatever, and I was at work. I was working at Sam's at the time. And so I'm back there. I just brought a pallet full of boxes to the back to crush, and then I wound up getting that phone call. What's going on with you? How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on with you? She said, "Yeah, you was right." I say, "Right about what?" I knew what she was talking about. I said, "Right about what?" She said, she said, "I'm pregnant," and I said, "Okay." I said, well, and I asked her a few more questions or whatever the case is, because I think they was kind of wrapping up in there and stuff like that. Played it cool. I was playing it cool. And got off that phone, and I'm walking in the back, and I'm walking around like, no. I'm like, no. So like I played it cool, but then like when the moment came, when I had a moment to really like think about this, I'm walking around the whole store like everything was just so surreal for me. Like that's all I could think about for the rest of the shift. And it was very surreal because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was gonna be like, what it was gonna feel like, how the journey was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? But then I had to tell my mama, like I'm 19, I'm still staying with my mama. How I'm gonna tell my mama? You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of them things, one of them questions that came in my mind, that popped up in my mind. But that's what it was like for me.
Wow. So those next few days was kind of tough, huh?
It was like holding a big old secret. I don't even know how long it was before I told her. It probably was like Man, I don't think I waited too long. It was probably within like 3 days. Probably within 3 days, 2 or 3 days. I think I had wound up telling her. I don't even remember how I told her, but yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, man, it was more like, because I guess I have to get a little transparent here. Like we had scares and opportunity. Like we had times where she really thought, we really thought we was pregnant. We thought we was gonna have a baby, and my first times then, because that was like, when was that tour? That was like in 2021 or 2020. I was like 23, 24. Listen, you might as well say I was 19. You know what I'm saying? And I was same thing, bro. I'm like trying to figure out how will I become enough to actually be, I had kind of like let India tell it, like I had then closed off. You know what I'm saying? I went into like a little shell. But in that shell, I was like, man, I was kind of secretly thinking I wasn't enough, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't got it for real, but I'm going to do what I need to do to get it. Yeah. Probably was going to be all the wrong stuff, because based on what I thought I should be, but I was going to get to work. I was getting to work though. You know what I'm saying? The consequence was I'm closed off. You know what I mean? So, I think it's fascinating how our mind shift and we go into whatever states that it is that we go into. And I'm talking about, to be honest, I'm going to separate this right now. I'm talking about the responsible fathers, you know what I'm saying? Or the people like, as a man who going to be in their child life. Those thoughts are different. Those thoughts are always going to be, hey, I need to get some, I need to make sure stuff popping. I need to make sure my girl's straight. I need to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, how's the future going to look? How is, you know what I mean? And so I that's fascinating, bro. Like it's literally like, hey, something about to happen. Hey, let me get ready for it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I get to thinking, I'm like, bro, I would like to treat that same thing. I would like to treat a whole bunch of other stuff in my life that same way. How come when somebody tell me, hey, young man, you're gonna do great things in life. You know what I mean? Why I'm not like get the goosebumps and get the, you know what I'm saying? Like, like what's the, I want to talk about the differences and the way that, maybe we can connect that, you know what I'm saying? What's the first major difference too? I'm gonna ask you, like, between, me, somebody telling me that something's gonna happen to me that's not really tangible, versus me having a something tangible that I need to get ready for.
I don't know. It's something about, so say for instance, if we take the analogy of the baby, right? That's guaranteed gonna come regardless. Like, ready or not, here it come. You know what I'm saying? And the work that it takes to initiate that process it was done. It's in manifestation mode now. Like, it's coming down the pipeline, right? The baby. If somebody can speak or prophesy over your life and be like, man, I really see you doing this or being this or whatever, it may feel good to hear it. It may even feel like a compliment, right? But it's like, I don't, like, my current actions, my current values, my current like lifestyle is not in alignment with this big old dream that you see me living. You see what I'm saying? So it sounds nice. I mean, I like to think of myself, one day I'll possibly be doing that, but it don't really come across like, I really see me being this. And so I feel like that's probably why we don't have that same ignition response when it comes down to preparing for that, like adapting to like something like that being spoken to us or over us versus, the earlier scenario. What you think?
And I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the part where you say we know that that's coming, because that is not always true. You can have miscarriages. You know what I'm saying? The baby can be unhealthy. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff that can happen.
It might not even be yours.
Baby might
even be yours. Shit.
Baby might not even be yours, And so I like that. So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know if that baby coming, We don't know if what it's gonna be like when that baby get here, right?
Yeah.
But I think the middle, I think the only real difference is, like you said, the belief that this thing is coming
Yeah.
regardless.
Yes.
Like this thing is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm be real with you. When Uncle Larry said, or even when my mama said, "Jacory, you're gonna do great things in life,"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's cool. You know, but I didn't know how to, like, how do you even translate that for sure? Like, even because I'm saying a statement like that, like how you translate that into something tangible anyway. Like, what are great things?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of and so that's also a clear difference. So that's a belief, and how do I translate that into something tangible?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
I think the first, so I wanted to touch on the first thing, but I'm gonna start
Mm-hmm.
right here. So translating it into something tangible. So like you've seen like little cousins, little brothers, like it could be 3, 4, 5 years old, and you can see how like their energy, you can see their spirit, you can kind of like get a
Mm-hmm.
sense of whether it be their work ethic or whatever it might be. They just smart like at an early age, and you could be like, he gonna be destined for something great. Like he gonna be fired when he get older. You know, you might meet a kid in high school and just based off of his accolades, like you could just say like, I know he gonna be, because you already got so much that is just radiating off of you that you from the outside looking in, I can tell that you have what it takes to be great. I think when we get like how can I say it? Like when people compliment us in that way, it for
Mm-hmm.
me it always gave it, I felt like it put a lot of pressure on me because I may have the tools, I may have the makeup to become something great, but right now I don't feel like I'm headed to greatness. I just feel like I'm just. It depends on where I'm at in my life. Either I'm just trying to figure it out. Either I'm just whatever, especially at like my younger ages. So that was kind of like a lot of pressure on me because it's like, what the hell do you see in me that I don't see in myself? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that I want great things, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm on the current track to something great. So that's kind of like a thing for me. And then it was something else that you had said about I'll let you elaborate on that too, and maybe the other thing will come back.
Yeah. No, that's a big one right there, bro. Like especially for me, man. Like there's a lot of, I probably asked myself that like a million times. Like, what do people see in me that makes me capable of being whatever it is that we would, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is that you saying, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then for me, like Cole, like what you see in yourself that allows you to just believe that you're gonna be something better, you know? And I ain't really, and I still kind of struggle with that, like that belief sometimes, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know what, bro? I think that there's definitely major differences here, but the what I want to do before we get out of here is connect those things and bridge the gaps. You know what I mean? Because one, we already have a preconceived thing on babies. Like babies coming, like you said, babies coming. You're gonna be a daddy, whether you're gonna be a daddy whether you want to be or not. You know what I'm saying? So maybe how do I give myself, like if I say I want to be a lawyer, maybe I need to make that a choice, and that's gonna have to happen regardless, you know, and make it to where if I don't become a lawyer, then something really bad happens. You know what I mean? Like I gotta have some kind of mental miscarriage or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear you, bro.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But listen, that you set it up so well for me. So that brings me to the other thing that I forgot. And it's like you said, it's not always true that baby gonna come. You see what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
reason why I feel like we take it so seriously is because we can't afford to not be prepared when the baby come. You see what I'm saying? If the baby actually come. So how we translate that to the other thing is like if somebody speaks something over us or whatever, is like, how can I still do my due diligence to where if something positive come, an opportunity come knocking on my front door, that I'm actually gonna be prepared in any type of way, form, shape, or fashion. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. And for sure, like, even so let's get further away from, because we did use the example of people putting prophecies over our life after you then took and received that prophecy and it was correct, right? Because people say stuff about you all the time, and that might not really be what you want to do, right? Once I figure out what I want to do, and whatever that is, right? You gotta set that, like, we gotta be able to set that up to where it is imminent and it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Okay, so we just set it up to where we made the announcements. See, oh man, Koto, that's next level, bro.
It is. Come on.
That's next level, dog. Set up. Like, I ain't never seen nobody set up and make announcements like, hey, I'm about to become this. But don't have nothing like no tangible, hey, putting Facebook posts, hey, let's do it. Let's have a celebration on me becoming this one day. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring diapers and wipes. Bring lawyer material if I want to be a lawyer. Bring me pens, bring me suits, bring me notebooks. You know what I'm saying? Bring me contacts and people who can help me become what I need to become. Like, that is a manifestation on the next level.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? And like to be honest, if you say, and I gotta be real, I hope my lady forgive me. I believe like the first, India was pregnant twice, and we lost both of them. During both of those pregnancies, we had no intentions. There was no set intentions on, like, we were still in denial. There was no really set intention on the trend, like us acting like we had a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it was different. Like, we wasn't embracing it at all. Like, and just then it was taken away from us after that.
Yeah.
And that's what I truly believe. I truly believe that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like that's a like children and new life as a gift.
Yes.
Like, you don't deserve that shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't taking nothing serious at all. You coming home when you want to, and you working, you blowing your money. Y'all ain't communicating. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and just like that, your dream, your vision, your goal gonna get taken away from you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's like,
I feel that. That kind of reminded me what we were speaking about yesterday too, and I was talking about like the law of attraction. And I'm not like, I don't necessarily know how the law of attraction specifically works, but we have this thing that we do, or I've heard of, it's called like the 369 method or something like that, right? So it's like in the daytime, it's like we have like a goal that you're trying to hit. And in the morning when you first wake up, you write it down 3 times, right? In the afternoon you write it down 6 times and you say it and recite it. Write it down 6 times. At nighttime before you go to bed, hit it 9 times. Say it, hit it 9 times. And you do that every day until you really achieve that goal. But what it does is it kind of like, I guess it synchronizes that goal in the subconscious mind, which is supposed to like make the world, the universe, work towards that, you connecting you in that goal, thus attracting you to what it is that you seeking. Yeah. And it's kind of like, if you don't do like what Coach just said, you treat it like you living in denial. It's like you living like somebody tell you that I see this for you and it's a great thing, right? I see you going far, but you don't appreciate that by aligning yourself with what it takes, what a person has to be to go far. I feel like that is counterintuitive to that law of attraction, and you'll kind of like, distance yourself from that actual reality, the actual goal. So what you was just saying, like with the baby, you feel like, if I understood you correctly, you feel like y'all didn't necessarily embrace that potential reality, and so it was taken away. And that very well so could be the truth. But to the same concept, right? The same thing is like when you have things that you say you want, things that you dream of, how are you embracing the reality? One common factor that I've heard a lot when it comes to attracting what you want is kind of like speaking as if it already exists, speaking it into existence, right? And aligning yourself with the frequencies that of the thing that you want, of the reality that you want, so that you can, you can attract that and you can live that reality. So I think that
Yeah.
just naturally, I think whether you believe in law of attraction, whether you believe in whatever, I think aligning yourself with the identity of who you need to be
That's
to
it.
obtain that thing that you want to be is how you prepare yourself for it. Like I said with the baby, I said, for those who take that seriously, you don't know, like you may have a miscarriage, may have complications, whatever the case is, right? But you feel like you can't afford to not be prepared if it is a successful birth. You see what I'm saying? So I guess
Yep.
what I'm saying is when you have something that's important to you, something that you say you want, you have to prepare, because when the next level comes knocking, you can't afford to not be prepared for it.
And let's talk about the intensity of the preparation.
Yeah.
Like me and N be on. There's new research that comes up down there every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you gotta do this. Oh, let's do it. Okay, let's practice this. Or let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Like the like we on it every day, all day, because we can't afford to not know something or not do it. You know what I'm saying? Or not do something, or not be on it, right?
Yeah.
Because I identify, like you said, I identify as a responsible father. You know what I'm saying? Or as someone who is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Who's healthy and who develops and births healthy things. You know what I'm saying? And so the way that looks is, you know what I'm saying? I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it all day. I'm on it every day, right? And I think another issue is like it's hard for us to submit to an identity because of our old identities. You know what I'm saying? But you don't. It ain't nothing to come. Oh well. I was about to lie. I was about to lie because I was about to say there ain't nothing to come from being a pimp. You know what I'm saying? And now you a daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm still, God damn it, you can still be both. Now it ain't gonna be a good one.
Pimpin' never died.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be a good one, but that identity is there. Right, so it don't really matter where you come from or where you know what I'm saying, just to get that out the way, bro. But you gotta say F what everybody else think, and you gotta submit so hard to that is true. Like you identify as a future this, or future that. Like damn near when you introduce yourself, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, what you going on in your life right now? Oh, I'm on a path right now to become this. Straight up. On my bio, future RN, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Like I'm going hard because it's coming. It's coming. And so I'm acting like it's coming. I'm doing whatever I need to do to make sure when it comes, I could steward, I could take care of it. You know what I mean? And so that God won't strip it away from me, And I think a lot of our appreciation also from this one too is it comes from the losses, you know what I'm saying? The times where, like we know that it could be taken away. You know what I'm saying? We know that it's possible that she can have one, right? So we're doing whatever it is that we can to take care of it.
Yeah. Yes.
So.
I want to kind of like jump to a different sector where once upon a time, you remember we had that conversation about me when I got that motorcycle? Right, just how you say you identify it as like for those, like I identify like I'm a future RN is in the bio, I'm claiming it and all these different things. I think it's something very special that happens when you actually accept the reality that you want. Like when you accept that future, that ideal future, right? This is what I mean. So when I wanted that motorcycle so bad, it wasn't a matter of if or how could I didn't even have the money for it, cool. But I had already knew that I was like, in my mind, I knew I was getting a bike. I just had to find one. I was looking for bikes. I didn't even have the money for it, right? And I got one in 5 days. Okay? It happened that fast. And the thing is like when you say I'm a future RN or I'm a future this or I'm on a path to being this, you didn't already accept it in your spirit and your mind and your body that this is where I'm headed. Like this is where I'm going. And I think it is possible to say you want something but not have accepted being that already today. You see what I'm saying? Like when I knew, like one of my experiences, like even in parenthood, like I would just say like my second child, right? Which was actually my third, y'all, but it's a long story. But it's not
so you see what I said earlier? I said too.
It's my second one now. But and at one point in time, I was kind of like living in denial. I hadn't totally accepted, you know what I'm saying, that responsibility. Like I was there to the degree that I was, but I hadn't totally embraced it. And it's something different that happens. It's something different about how you show up when you embrace what is. And so just like the baby was there and I had to come to embracing it, not it as a baby, but you know what I'm saying, the reality. Same thing I feel like need to happen when you go after something that you say you want and really embracing it by accepting that this is who I am. And I think just the way that you show up is totally different because you kind of like locked in on that. Like you just get locked in on that and like nothing else really matter.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question, man. How soon did the critics come when everyone figured out that you had a baby on the way?
The first,
how soon
second, and
did
third.
the voices? I don't know, man. Is it like how different is it?
Well, I would say the first one, we had already been together for so many years. So at that time, it's like, I mean, it was like everybody seen it coming at some point in time or another. You know, I don't have a big circle, and on her side, like her people was happy. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't
even the positive critics, just basic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, just I guess, in general, people were coming in and, hey, you should do this. Hey,
stuff like that. Like people try. Well, honestly, I didn't have a whole bunch of that. Me personally, I didn't have a whole bunch of people saying what I should do or how to do. But something very funny. I remember. So my daughter used to be very, very sickly, I guess you could say. You know, and I had to learn that was a diet thing. So let me tell you something. First time daddy, all that dairy, that milk, and all that shit that they're gonna try to get you to. Don't do it because that's a setup for failure. That's a setup for a weak immune system. But I'm gonna tell you this.
I'm talking about like the synthetic milk, the like talking about real milk.
I'm talking about real milk. I'm talking about dairy. Period.
Right.
Dairy.
Right.
Period. But the formula, if y'all could breastfeed. That's the ultimate best. Just breastfeed if it's possible. But so. She was sick when we had wound up taking her to the hospital, and I got to the barbershop the next day, and I was talking to Lynn. I know you remember Lynn, the receptionist at the time. And so she was talking, and so she was like, how your baby doing, whatever. And I said, she good. She was real sick last night with the coughing, doing this, had a fever. We brought her to the ER. She said, y'all brought her to the ER, first time parents. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny, like, because once you have, like, even with me, like, I'm not sensitive like I used to be. Like once you after that first one, you had your second one, don't rush. But when you had that second one, it's like it's gonna be different because you did it all already. So now you know the ins, the outs, you know the ups, the downs, and you know the remedies and stuff like that, and you just know how to approach things. So when you have more kids or more opportunities in life, you just know how to like maneuver better. But yeah, that was something funny to me. Coming from somebody with multiple kids to me with my first, it was just like that's first time parent shit, you know.
That's major, and that's I think it's the same, man. Whatever it is that you're doing, it ain't gonna be peaches and cream when you're gonna be like, oh man, you know, the anxiety is gonna be stupid high.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, along with people telling you this, and that, you know, you're definitely gonna have to get your own experiences.
System,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know, and that doesn't mean like, you know. That doesn't mean like, hey, I ain't listening to nobody, you know, but I'm probably only listening to people who had kids, right? Or to translate, if I'm out to be an RN, I'm only listening to RNs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm listening to. You know, a lot of times when we start to do stuff, like we got all these voices coming in from people who ain't never did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or doing bad at it. You know what I mean? Straight up. Like, don't be afraid to tell people, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to tell people, like, hey, I appreciate you, but like I got this system set up to where I'm getting advice from people. You know, I don't want to cloud my judgment. You know, and if it gotta get there, hey, I appreciate you, but you ain't where I want to be at right now. You know, a lot of like think about your child. Like, would you let somebody tell you to give coke to your child? You know what I'm saying? Because they survived giving coke to themselves, but they still ain't where you, like, they baby got a whole bunch of problems and stuff. Like, would you accept that? No. You would probably most likely blatantly tell them, I'm not listening to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the amount of I don't want to say protection, but how serious you are about protection, you know, would kind of prompt you to do stuff like that. This is the same way. Whatever it is that you're doing, like, it needs to be protected. It's a baby. It's a baby, man. That business that I had, bro, it was a baby, man. And I like, it's a lot of, I got a lot of examples of not protecting stuff. You don't protect stuff. You don't treat it like, you know, that, like it's a life, like it's delicate, the same as a child. Then, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
For sure.
You know, negatively.
Yeah, for sure. I think in a grand scheme of the overall conversation, it's just like, and especially if we haven't already really like painted this picture, but it's just like asking myself the question for those who are parents. And if you're not a parent yet, go ask a parent, like, what was it like when you was having your first child? And the reason why that question is so significant is because the amount of preparation that goes into, like, we talked about it, I think we mentioned it, but we didn't really like, did we ask that question already? About the preparation, just like, what was the preparation like? Or what, like, you're in it right now. So like, what is your preparation like while you're in it? So when you are a first time parent and you're active, it's like, what is that preparation time like, that preparation period? Like, once you then, like, you through the in denialness, you're like, okay, this thing is happening for real. And you researching stuff, you're looking up the best bottles, the best clothes, like, you're looking up, you know, we probably looking up schools already. I don't know, daycares and stuff. Whatever it is, but like, however you want to be, if you want like a at-home birth, if you want to breastfeed, if you want, you doing all this research for how to be the best parent that you can be in preparation for when this baby get here. My thing is, not just to y'all, but also to myself. Can you still hear me, Cole?
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
Okay, well, we're going to figure that out. We're going to see what's going on. It's probably going to refresh. Yeah, it's going to probably refresh. But the question is like, how do we apply that same energy? Right? Here we go. We back, y'all. We back. I don't know what happened. I'm probably going to call it something. But how do we apply that same energy and intensity to preparing for a baby, to our dreams, to our goals, to something that we're working on right now in preparation, and have that same seriousness and severity level to prepare for that? So ultimately, that's really what this whole conversation was encompassing. It was just like how to transfer that intensity, right, into other areas of our lives.
Yeah. I was in church the other day, and was that church, or did I see man, where did I get this from? However, no, I seen it on a video, right? Okay. He was talking about the human's issue to try to want to understand something before they actually believe, right? And that's 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna happen that way, right? You know, and kind of put it towards he used the Bible stories as a reference, right? When Paul that wanted to walk on water, that walked on, I think, man, I got it. Anyway,
Jesus
I think
walked
it was
on water. He wanted to walk on water.
Paul
was the one who wanted to.
No, Jesus asked Paul to walk on the water, right?
Oh,
we want to know we could walk on the water before we walk on the water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want to know that we can do something before we actually do it. Right. And sometimes you're not going to have the understanding of what's going to go on. You just got to believe that it's going to go down.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe even if you don't have the belief right now, just go through the motions, like connect them. How would I be treating this right now if it was such and such? If it was my baby, how would I be treating it? You know, and sometimes you have to get so practical that, you know, maybe it's almost like your spiritual got to catch up or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, I don't know, man. It's like, because it would be, people would be like, oh, don't say that, but that's true. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I had to practice God's teachings before I actually started to really believe in them. Like, I chose God first. You know, like I made a choice. I didn't necessarily believe in him at that moment, but I just started doing the practices.
Yes.
So I was engaging in acts of belief. You feel what I'm saying? Like my mind wasn't, my mind and spirit wasn't connected, but my body was. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm showing up to church, I'm reading, I'm applying the principles.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then after that, when I start to see the fruits of the labor, then that's when the belief started to come. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes a lot of us, that's what we get stuck at. We like, I don't know, so I ain't doing it. When it should be, I don't know, let me go see.
Let me go see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me. Like I need to jump in the water and either I'm a walker or I ain't.
That's a big one, Cole. So like you just said, like we be needing proof before we believe you can do something. Well, let me just share something about parenthood. And this is transferable to success also just in any other endeavor. You can never be 100% prepared. So I just want to let y'all know that. So especially if you have any anxiety about having it all put together or I want to have enough put together. I want to have, the bedroom set up already. I want to have this. I want to have that. I want to make sure I have an abundance of this so we ain't never got to worry about all that's cool. Just relax because you never know what the true battle is going to be once that time comes. And so like for me, my oldest, when she was born with jaundice. And I'm not gonna go into detail what jaundice is, but it's protocol that has to be done when a baby is born with jaundice and all that other kind of stuff. So your doctor visits are gonna be more regular in the beginning than what it normally would have to be. But I didn't know. I mean, I had clothes, I had Pampers, I had, I had advice, I had all that stuff, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. I didn't know how to do that. I had to adapt. So say all that to say is like when you get in anything like what Cole was saying, just like, it's like you might not know what's going on. You can never be fully prepared, but just be ready to go and don't look back. Just once it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah. But at some point when I knew that concept, I was like more like, okay, since I can never be too prepared, let me just go right now. And that's also wrong. Prepare as much as you can first.
Yeah.
Prepare as much as you can. Have the diapers because right after you come from the doctor's visit, you gotta change a diaper. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, or on the way or whatever. Do what you can. And just be proactive. You're just not going to have everything, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have everything in place, But one thing that I do as a future father now is I fantasize. I'm like, man, I think about how it would be being a father. I think about the experiences that I'm going to have, the things that fathers do. And I fantasize about that often. The benefits and rewards that I'm gonna get from that. Like I think about that a lot too, and it excites me, because for one, like it was already a goal. Like I'm legacy, like gets me excited. Leaving something on this earth, of my doing. You know what I mean? It brings me to another level of joy, and so when I connect new life to that, like it makes me feel really good, right?
Yeah.
And so, whatever it is that I'm doing, right, as long as I'm able to connect that to my goal, to the thing that gives me the most joy, I'm usually excited about it. It usually pumps me up. It usually motivates me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was obstacles that I had to go through to get there wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't overpowering my joy to actually get to that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a powerful thing to do. Sit there and take some time to just close your eyes and just dream.
Yes.
I think we get too caught up in like real life reality. We gotta grow up. Yeah. But when we the best thing about being a child is your freedom from what we call reality. You know what I mean? Which should really be opportunities and blessings. Like, I got the opportunity to pay my bills for real. Like, I got the opportunity to clean up. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those are opportunities that we see as burdens, and we shouldn't. You know what I mean? And I think we see it as burdens because it's not connected to what we really want in life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I may want to do dishes, but not in this house, not in this apartment, not with this person. You know what I'm saying? Not late at night like this or whatever it is. That's what you got to be obsessed with designing. Like, you could design your stuff, based on, how you want it. You know what I mean? Like, we be feeling stuck, and we don't got to be stuck for real.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I think that perception of what's going on is very important. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mr. Cole.
Yes, sir, man. I want to close it out. I want to say that I want to just bring it full circle. Just whatever it is that you're expecting right now. You know what I'm saying? If it's a child, if it ain't, connect that to what you've always truly wanted, and maybe you might have to do some soul searching for it. You might have to search your soul to connect that to your spirit, your current spirit, and make sure that your everyday is a product of what you want to be in the future.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're gonna be a daddy. You're gonna be a lawyer. You're gonna be a whatever. Just do them things every day and just submit to that whole thought, that whole idea. If you're a lawyer, you walking in with the suit on, you got the tie, you fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Suited and booted, you're RN, you got the cap on, the blue sweat, you know what I'm saying? You got your Nikes on, you know what I mean? You want to be a public speaker, you know what I'm saying? You're talking to children, you're talking to schools, you know what I mean? Just get engulfed in that feeling. That's what I've learned so far, and that's what's keeping me pumping and keeping me ahead. You know what I mean? But I wanted to add that, man. So, without further ado,
man, it was actually a very, very powerful conversation that we had. We hope that y'all got value from this conversation. I hope that it hit home for a lot of people, and that you guys were able to listen, internalize, and translate this into every other areas of your life. And it definitely gave me something to think about, like, moving forward. Just whether it be tomorrow, whatever tomorrow holds for me. It's just like, how can I tap into that same intensity that I had, when I was preparing for that? How can I prepare for this? So, without further ado, man, we just want to thank each and every single one of y'all on the behalf of the Free Will Podcast, the Free Will family. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for clicking that notification bell for them real ones, them day ones. And if I subscribe to the channel from your phone myself, I definitely hit that notification bell, so I know you're tapping in, man. And we just want to thank y'all for being here with us. Thank y'all for being the best part of the Free Will Podcast. You can catch us here next Friday. Don't just meet us there.
Beat us there. You heard me?
And we're going to see y'all again on the next one.